Back here again. My phone is at 13%, so I hope it doesn't die on me. So I'm going to try to hurry this up a little bit. But recap on week 4 of the NFL season. First, we got Seahawks Cardinals. It was looking bad for my guy Marvin Harrison Jr., but then he bounced back, which is really good. Really good. And Cardinals almost made a comeback in the end, but the Seahawks prevailed at the end of the game. JSN looked great. He's looking phenomenal. Sam Darnold doing well. For now, he's showing that he wasn't a fluke. And the running and Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are basically the mini version of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, just not as good as them. But Seahawks win. That James Conner loss is definitely showing for the Cardinals during that game. Then we have Vikings versus the Steelers. While I wasn't expecting Aaron Rodgers to throw DK Metcalf, where DK Metcalf will go 80 freaking yards to the house. But life is life. It's unexpected. But the Steelers won. Vikings got bitched, basically. The defense didn't look as good. The offense wasn't good. Carson Wentz did not play good. And they played so bad that they're making me think the Browns have a chance next week. And speaking of the Browns were lost to the Lions. Unsurprisingly, because the Lions are one of the best teams in the NFL. I mean, if you are a Browns fan going into this game, why would you think that the Browns could possibly win this? Exactly. And now it's come out that they're thinking about starting Dylan Gabriel, which I am mixed about. And I'll explain why I'm mixed about it. I'm mixed about it because given how bad the Vikings played, it gives me a sense of optimism, specifically for this game. But now you're sending out the rookie. You could send out Joe Flacco for 2 quarters, and if that doesn't go well, you can put the rookie in. But I just don't really think to myself that that's the right choice as of now, specifically for that game. But we'll see. Then Chargers versus Giants. Where Giants might have a franchise quarterback, but the cost their franchise-altering wide receiver, their best wide receiver draft choice since Odell Beckham Jr. tore his ACL because the MetLife turf is the devil. It is the devil, man. But Chargers, Chargers. What a funny team. Whenever you're sure about something in the NFL, a specific team, whatever they are, just slaps you with a face. It just shows that you're wrong and questions your thinking of reality. And speaking of not sure, thinking you're sure of a team, why not the Falcons beating the Commanders? Even if the Commanders didn't have Jay Daniels and Terry McLaurin, it's honest to God a miracle that they won this game. Because the Falcons got blown out by the Panthers. They made Bryce Young look great. You know how bad a defense has to be to make Bryce Young look phenomenal? Exactly. Commanders need Jaden Daniels back more than ever. And Commanders-Chargers might have the fraud bowl. So we'll see. And speaking of the Panthers, they lost 13-42 to the Patriots. The Patriots finally showing what this team can be. All the highs went well. Bryce Young sucks. The Panthers suck at all. I don't understand why people thought they would see something within this team, but whatever. This is the best game you could possibly have leading into Buffalo in Week 5. So hopefully they can keep this momentum going. Hopefully that game is a great game. Because if not, that might get really ugly. Then we got Eagles-Buccaneers, where Baker Mayfield went freaking insane with 2 80-yard touchdowns in the second half after thinking to myself that he was that he was a bust this week. And Jalen Hurts in the second half had an all-time great performance of 7 passing yards. And now A.J. Brown is posting cryptic post on his Instagram stories. Yeah, I think he has himself in a fantasy league. But Eagles still got the win somehow, some way. And then we got the Titans versus Texans, where that clip of C.J. Stroud getting immediately sacked. Yeah, that guy's going to die. And then, oh, what do you know? The Browns trade for a Texans lineman. Holy crap, man. Out of all the teams you could possibly trade an O-lineman for, you traded with the Texans? The Browns, man. The Browns. But then, the Texans got a much-needed win. Then we got Saints versus Bills, which was surprisingly a close game. But Bills prevailed. The kicker almost got his leg snapped. Speaking of leg snaps, yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. But, yeah, Bills still won. Saints are surprisingly not as bad, but they aren't winning any games, so they're not really getting anywhere. And then we had the Colts versus the Rams, where the Colts Cinderella story ends, and A.D. Mitchell has the play of his life where he bobbles up the ball at the 1-yard line and basically loses a touchback, and then they lose the game, of course. Yeah, we'll see where they go from here, but I wasn't surprised that they lost this game. Rams got a much-needed win. Good for them. Then we got Jaguars versus 49ers, where Liam Cohen and Robert Saleh were beefing. Don't talk to me about that, Liam Cohen said. Don't we love this, everybody? One coach says they're cheating. Coach who's probably cheating beats them. Coach who probably cheated calls out the guy who said he was cheating. God, I love the NFL, man. But seriously, Jaguars, much needed win, especially against the 49ers. And the 49ers, they'll be fine, all right? They'll just be fine because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL. They'll be completely fine. Then we got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Honest to God, probably the most shocking result of this slate. Coming into this game, you would have thought to yourself that even though the Ravens were flawed, that Lamar Jackson was going to pick them up in pieces. And that's what it looked like during the first drive when Justice Hill, out of all people, was cooking the Chiefs' defense. And they wouldn't use Derrick Henry for chicken shit at all during the 3rd and 1, during the 4th and 1 plays, which didn't really help. I mean, sure, he had 2 fumbles, but for the love of God, he's Derrick Henry. And Lamar Jackson played so bad that he got benched. But now it turns out that his hamstring injury is real. And how is it real? Well, Lamar Jackson is going to be out for possibly 2 to 3 weeks, which, they're 1-3. Not looking good. Good Lord. What deal did the Steelers make with the devil? And then we got the Bears versus Raiders, where Ashton Jeanty finally comes alive. He brought back the Michael Myers stance, and guess what? He lit it up. Passing touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown. He had a passing touchdown from Geno Smith. Geno Smith still had 3 interceptions. Yeah, Geno, get it together, buddy. You're not Jameis Winston. Oh, God, he might be coming the new one. Oh, boy. But Bears still won this game. Ben Johnson, I think, has now full control of the team now. I think it's finally settled in. And then Packers versus Cowboys, where this was supposed to be the game that we would all laugh at the Cowboys. But instead, we watched absolute cinema in all buffoonery. Defenses were terrible. Micah Parsons only got 1 sack on Dak Prescott, but it wasn't until overtime. This was supposed to be the game we would all laugh at the Cowboys. But no, this was George Pickens' breakout game. This was just elite. And it ended in a tie. I stayed up until almost midnight, and the result was a tie. Only football can give you this type of cinema. And then we have Jets versus Dolphins. Now listen, Justin Fields is the guy. I think he could be the franchise holder for the Jets. Now, sure, they're 0-4, but come on. Look at the connection that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson have. Like, seriously. Those two can be a really great duo. I mean, I had them on my fantasy team, and they basically won me the game. Like, I think Jets have the right tools. It's just their defense and offensive play calling that needs a bit of work on. I mean, running handoff with a 3rd and 6. I mean, of course you need some freaking work. Any sane person could say that. Then we got the Bengals versus Broncos, where the Broncos beat the Bengals 28-3. You hear that, Falcons fans? I'm sorry, I just had to make that joke, but still. Bengals, Jamar Chase lost his mind. I mean, everybody's on that team's got to be pissed. Yeah, man. The Bengals season's over. Go call up Kirk Cousins at this point. He'll be the only guy that could possibly see the season. Don't even think about calling up Russell Wilson, though. But that's it. That's it. Thanks for watching, Bob.